What if everything you thought you know about identity and change was backward? Let me share an idea that could change how you pursue and reach your goals. Your actions don't follow your identity follows your action. And let me paint a picture for you. And I'm sure many of you can relate to this vividly. Picture someone who wants to become healthy. They go all in, right? They buy expensive equipment, tell everyone they know about their new lifestyle. They even get a perfect workout clothes. But here's what typically happens within 3 weeks or less. They go right back to old habits. Now, this brings up a fascinating question I really want you to think about with me. Why does this happen? Well, what I've discovered is this. They try to change their identity first. They basically try to force it. But this is crucial. Identity doesn't work that way. Think of your brain like a detective. It is constantly watching what you do, not what you say. Every tiny action, every single one, sends a signal. This is who I am becoming. Do something once, your brain sees it as a fluke. Do it twice. Now, it starts to notice an interesting pattern. 3 times, that's when something magical truly happens. Your brain goes, oh, wait a minute, this must be part of who we are becoming. So how do we use this? Start small most of the time. So small it feels almost insignificant. Like if you want to become a reader, don't do what I initially did and declare I will read 50 books this year, which is cool. But instead, read 1, 2, 3 pages every day. Just every day. Let me break down what happens in your brain. It's incredible when you think about it. Your brain notices, interesting, we read today, and tomorrow another page, We're doing this again. Day 3, wait a minute. Are we becoming a reader? This is what I call the identity loop in action, and honestly, it's a beautiful thing in its simplicity. Small, consistent signal reshape your self-image, which then makes those actions feel more natural, which strengthens your self-image even more. No willpower needed, no massive declaration, just tiny strategic action that adds up to massive change. This works for any change you want to make. Here's the catch. You have to start small, smaller than your ego can comprehend. Your ego screams for dramatic change, but your brain, it whispers for consistency, small, tiny habit. In this battle, trust me, your brain always wins. And so how do you train your brain to achieve your goals automatically? Remember, your brain changes every single day and you get to decide how it changes. Think of your brain like a garden. Every thought you have, every action you take, every habit you repeat, they are creating trails in that garden. When we walk through the same path over and over, it becomes clearer, wider, and easier to travel. Remember, your brain has no idea whether this path leads to flowers, weeds, or wherever. It just does what it's designed to do, recognizing patterns and strengthening those behaviors. Remember how we talked about tiny action building identity, right? Well, this is exactly why it works. Every time you take small action, every single time, you are not just doing something, you are literally rewiring your brain. Those old patterns you have, those limiting beliefs, those habits you are not super proud of, they are also parts too. And here's the good news, you can let them grow over, you can change them. But this is really important, not fighting them. Instead, we are going to build new paths. You're going to show your brain, teach your brain how to build new paths that changes the old one into a new one. When you try to stop a habit, your brain actually focuses on it even more. Instead of fighting old paths, focus on building new ones. Want to stop checking your phone first thing in the morning? Don't fight that urge. That's just making your brain think about it even more. Instead, build a new morning routine. Maybe it's drinking water, stretching, or taking 3 deep breaths every day, whatever works for you. Every time you take new paths, something incredible happens. You are not just creating a habit, you are literally building new neural networks or connections. And the old path starts to fade, not because you fought it, fighting it actually makes it stronger, but because you simply stopped maintaining it. Kind of how that old route to your previous jobs gradually fades from your mind once you start working from home or once you change path. This is the real secret to lasting change. You don't have to wage war with your old self. You just have to consistently build new paths, one tiny step at a time. Your brain will do the rest. It is literally designed for this. Now that we understand how our brain creates and strengthens new pathways, let's explore how to make this process virtually automatic through our environment. The smartest way to change your life isn't what most people think. Stop relying on motivation, stop counting on willpower. Instead, let's talk about something way more powerful: your environment. Take a moment and do something with me right now. Look around your room now. Everything you see is either pushing you towards your goal or pulling you away from them. You actually have complete control over this. Let me use a simple example from nature. Think about water. Water always follows or flows through the path of least resistance, right? It always flows downhill, and here's the thing about your behavior. It works exactly that same way. I noticed this in my own life. You naturally flow towards whatever is easiest in your environment. Here's the practical example. You want to eat healthier. I used to think of willpower, trying to resist that late night craving. But here's what actually works. Don't stock up on willpower. Just stop buying junk food. Because let me tell you something I've learned through experience. At 10 p.m., when you're tired and stressed, willpower is gone. But you know what still works perfectly? The fact that there is no junk food in your house. I call this the friction principle. It's pretty simple really. Make good habits downhill and make bad habits uphill. You want to exercise more? Put your workout clothes right by your bedside or even in your car on your way to commute. You want to stop mindless social media scrolling? Delete those apps altogether. Make it take extra step to access them. Remember how we talked about brain patterns earlier? Naturally connecting this concept, well, your environment is basically a physical version of those patterns. Change your environment and you automatically change these patterns. Studies show that people who keep a fruit or a bowl of fruit visible eat 70% more fruit. Think about that for a second. No willpower needed, no motivation required, just smart environmental design. It's exactly what happened when I put a bottle of water on my desk. Suddenly, I was drinking way more water than I wanted or thought about. Once you understand this principle, you can design success triggers everywhere. You want to read more? Put book on your table. It's finally how I got to start reading consistently. You want to drink more water? Put more bottled water or spot typically where you cite them. That is how you drink more water. Your environment is like an invisible force, shielding you or influencing your behavior. And once you set it up right, it works 24/7, even when you are tired, stressed, or completely unmotivated. I'd love to hear in the comment section what environmental changes have worked for you, or what changes you are planning to make after learning this. Let me know in the comment section. Even the most perfectly designed environment needs a power source, and that's where most people miss this crucial lesson. Everyone talks about time management, but there's a crucial truth they miss. You can't actually manage time. Time moves forward no matter what you do. But what can you manage in your life? That is energy. Have you ever had one of these days with plenty of free time but felt so drained you couldn't do anything meaningful with it? Or maybe you've experienced the opposite, where you had just 30 or 1 hour but you were so energized you accomplished more in 3 hours. I see some of you nodding. We've all been there. Here's what took me years to understand. Your energy isn't just about being tired or awake. It's actually your capacity to make changes, to learn, to grow, and to push forward. Unlike time, which we can't control, energy can be expanded. Think about that for a second. Most people, and I was guilty about that too, get this completely backward. They try to squeeze more and more into their time, push harder, sleep less, work longer. But watch closely, this always backfires. Always. Think of your energy like a battery that comes with a solar panel. Sure, you can drain it, we all do sometimes. You can also recharge it, and even better, you can actually upgrade your battery capacity. That's pretty amazing, right? Your brain uses 20% of your body's energy, but sometimes during intense focus period, that can jump up to 70%. And this explains so much, doesn't it? This is why you feel mentally exhausted after learning something new. Your brain is literally running running a marathon. Recovery isn't just about rest, it's about strategic renewal. You know those moments when you think you are doing nothing? Well, something incredible is happening. Your brain is actually consolidating learning, replenishing energy, and building new neural pathways. That is mind-blowing, isn't it? This completely transforms how we should think about planning our days. Instead of asking, how can I fit in more, which I used to do all the time, ask yourself, how can I match my tasks to my energy peaks? Need to learn something new, do it when your energy is highest. You want to be creative, match it to when your mind is fresh. It's like surfing, you want to catch the wave at just the right moment. Remember how we talked about environmental design. Now let's apply this same thinking into our energy. Design your day around your natural energy readings. Create renewal triggers and build in recovery periods. Very important. But here's what I've learned to be absolutely true. When you master your energy, time takes care of itself. If you're still here, I'd like to encourage you to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. I had planned to cover more today, but I believe in keeping this concept digestible and actionable. If you're finding value in this insight about brain optimization and energy management, let me know in the comment section below. Your feedback will help me in shaping additional videos in this series. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.